set my alarm for like 5:40. She has a kink. It's so unhinged. Oh my goodness. So we're gonna soft DNF this for now. We haven't finished any books yet. Hello everybody and welcome or welcome back. So this intro is a little bit ahead of time. We're gonna be doing a 24-hour readathon again. My plan is actually to start this tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. and since my entire household will still be sleeping, I thought I would just do my intro today. 24-hour readathon rules. For me specifically, I'm going to do 12 and 12 hours. So 6 till 6 on Tuesday, which will be tomorrow, and then 6 till 6 on Wednesday, which is going to be the final day. Just because I can't do 24 hours straight. I'm too old for that and I have diabetes. I need sleep in order for my body to recuperate. So bear with me. I think for our TBR, I have some physical books, but I also have some Kindle books. Obviously, we won't read all. In the history of me doing this, the most book I've read is, I think, 4, and one of them was a novella. So not great track record there, but I'm very excited to still try this out again. TBR wise, I want to try and read Metal Slinger by Rachel Snyder. So that is one book. And then the other book I potentially want to read on my Kindle is Nocticadia by Carrie Lake. So those are 2 Kindle books, and that's better if like I'm really tired and just want to, you know, push through it, where you know, sometimes a physical book, you can just like lose your mind a little bit. For my physical books, I have this one over here. It is The Lies You Told by Harriet Tice. Apparently this is really good and it's a really good like thriller. These books are rogue because I didn't know which other video to put it in, so I thought this would be perfect for this. Next, we have Things Bright and Beautiful by Anbara Salam. I love this cover. And this again is like more of a mystery book, but it looks kind of short. So I think that would be amazing for this challenge. The Cloisters by Katie Hayes. Again, this cover is absolutely gorgeous and I'm not entirely sure what this is about. I think it's like kind of dark academia, fantasy, magical realism-esque. So really excited to try this out. I've never even heard of this author, never heard of this book. Should be quite exciting. And then lastly, and I don't even know if we'll be able to achieve that, we have The Drift by C.J. Tuador, which is also like a thriller, mystery, horror. Very, very different books here, but yet similar theme. So that is all the books that I have planned, and I will let you guys know when I get started. And yeah, I'll probably check in like every couple hours, but this is the stack. So I will see you all in the morning. Good morning everybody. Sorry for the lighting. I've just opened my blinds and the sun's like kind of just peeking out, and then I have my lamp on obviously to read. So I had every intention of starting this at 6 a.m. this morning. I set my alarm for like 5:45 and I was like, I took a melatonin last night and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna start early so we can finish the 12 hours early for today. That didn't happen. My alarm went off and I was like, absolutely not. So I slept for like maybe another half an hour and then I got up at like 6:30 and then started at 7 today. I started with The Cloisters. I was just interested in it because it's dark academia, it has divination and tarot cards in it. Our main female character, Anne, is like, she's an intellectual. Her father was a linguist or a professor in linguistics, I think, and she is finished college and she's doing her summer apprenticeship, and she was meant to go to the Met Museum, and unfortunately the day that she arrived, she moved all the way from Washington to New York, and when she arrived on that morning, her first day, she was told that there's no longer a space for her and she was basically being fired on her very first day of her apprenticeship. Another professor, Patrick something, he walks in, sees her, speaks to the director and tells him that one of his pupils, or what do you call them, summer associate, he ended up resigning and he needed to fill a space, and she's sitting there the whole time like, what the fuck, what is going on here? I'm literally still sitting here. Anyway, he ends up offering her the job at the Cloisters, which is like another small museum. They concentrate more on like artifacts and stuff. So what their research project currently is on is finding these tarot cards. That's as far as I got. I know it's all centered around like divination and tarot cards and stuff, so that sounded really interesting. But I'm starting to realize that dark academia really isn't for me. It's way too intellectual, and I've realized that I don't read a lot of like intellectual books. It's more like faff that I read and enjoy. I read for escapism, not really to learn anything. So yeah, the first couple chapters were really difficult because there's a lot of reference to Italy for some reason, and artists and places and like different art history studies, and I was just like, it's just going straight over my head. And to wake up first thing in the morning and read something that academic, not great. So I'm currently on page 32, chapter 4. Let's see the timer. So I've read for an hour and 15 minutes. I'm going to pause this quickly because we're actually talking, and I think I'm going to pause like every time I eat and stuff like that. I did just go make myself a little protein smoothie because I am actually going to go for a walk. It's now 8:16, so I think I'm gonna go for a walk because I just rubbed my chocolate finger onto my white pajamas. But anyway, I'm going to listen to an audiobook obviously to keep this going. I actually downloaded Lights Out on my Spotify. They had the whole book and it's free, so I was like, I really want to read this book because everybody was so like bamboozled and shocked by this book, so I really want to read it. So I think I'm going to listen to this while I go for my walk. I might do a little like strength training at home afterwards, but I'll be listening to the book the whole time and then I will update you guys. So yeah, it's going okay. Yeah, not the best first thing in the morning to start with something so academic. I'm quickly going to put this audiobook on while I get ready and then also just go for my walk, but I will update you guys when I get back. But yeah, we should be at like hour 2 then. Today's going to be hectic. I thought I had some editing to do, but thank goodness I don't. I have to actually clear my schedule for the next 2 days. I'll speak to you guys when I get back from my walk. Hello! So I just got back from my walk. I've been listening to the audiobook on two speed. Is that what you call it? On speed 2. So it's going really quickly. I'm currently on chapter 6 and I am 1 hour and 57 minutes into the book out of 7 for the first half, or 7.5 hours. So almost a third of this anyway. So that was very confusing. But yeah, I just came back from my walk. I walked about 3 kilometers and it took me like 27 minutes. I just sat here for a little bit trying to listen to the rest of the book. I didn't realize it was a dark romance. So it's about our main female character. Her name is Ali and she is a nurse. She has a kink. She has a kink where she's like got this obsession with like men in masks. So they're all like buff and stuff. And I think she's on like TikTok and she's on that side of TikTok. And this one guy she's like completely obsessed with, who wears this like ghost like mask. He's tatted up and quite hench. And she just like, she has a good time while watching his videos. One night she gets drunk and she sends one of her ex-boyfriends this link to one of the videos where he's like dancing and stuff with his mask on, and the roommate shows his roommate, who's actually the masked guy. It's really weird. I understand now why everybody is all fucked up about it, but it's kind of like haunting Adeline. I don't know, but anyway, it's a good like little palate cleanser as well. So I'm not going to do my other workout right now. I'm really not in the mood. I just feel so tired, and melatonin usually does that to me, and I look very worse for wear today. So I'm going to continue with the Cloisters now. I have been reading for 2 hours and about 20 minutes. So we have 9 hours and 41 minutes left on the clock. I cracked my phone screen, so I have to lift up my screen protector in order to put my fingerprint on when I do like my banking and stuff. So I've had to lift that up. But yeah, so we're about a quarter of the way through today's reading. So I'm hoping to finish the Cloisters with some time to spare so we can start another book. But I mean, only time will tell. So I'm going to start up on that. And yeah, we'll see where the day takes us. I just look like a floating head here. The last time I sat here, the footage turned out terrible, but I just wanted a little bit of a change of scenery. So I ended up having a quick shower, having some lunch. I didn't pause the timer because I was listening to my audiobook. It's so unhinged. Oh my goodness. I literally didn't really understand what it was about because no one really described it in so much detail. I thought it was like more of like a thriller, but it's really not. It's just a dark romance and like about kinks and stuff. I don't know when it was released, but it seems fairly recent because she's using like colloquialism like delulu, so must be fairly recent. That I made quite a significant bit of progress in. It's taken me, it says I'm 4 hours through the book now. Then I just made it through to page 100 in Cloisters, or The Cloisters. I'm bored. I'm so bored, but I'm trying to troop through this book. I'm hoping we can still finish it today. I have quite a bit to go. I'm close to halfway, but not quite there yet. So I'm still trooping along. I thought I'd just guys, but like I said, I am bored. It's a lot of like info dumping that I feel like I don't need to know, like about historians and I don't know, ancient Greece and ancient Italy, and just facts that I don't think are as important to the story. It's about tarot cards. They're on an expedition to find this old deck of tarot cards, and I don't feel like the history of everything is as important as, I don't know, the mission. So it's taken a long time for the plot to kick in, and I'm thoroughly bored. But I'm gonna concentrate on this at least for the next 4 hours, and I guess maybe we'll wait until we get halfway. If I'm not feeling it by halfway, I'm just going to switch gears because I'm reading extremely slower than I usually would. We are 6 hours and 15 minutes in. We're basically halfway through, so yeah, it should be smooth sailing from here, but this book is a pain in my side. I definitely judged a book by its cover. I also think that the synopsis in the back was a little bit misleading. It made it sound a lot more interesting than it actually is. I'll let you guys know when I decide to change my book or whatever, but for now, I'm so bored. Hi guys, back in my original spot, again with the terrible lighting. I should probably turn on one of my big lights. That's better. I've decided I'm going to soft DNF The Cloisters. Unfortunately, it's just not the right book for today. It's a book you need to take your time with, and it's frustrating because there's a lot being said, but not a lot happening. So I'm just feeling really bored and really frustrated with it. So I think I'm going to give it a rest. I do like the concept of tarot and all of that, but unfortunately, it's just a little bit too slow. And like I said, a lot of info dumping. So we're going to soft DNF this for now. And I think the next book I'm going to start is The Lies You Told by Harriet Tice. Not entirely sure what it's about again, but once I get a bit of the way through, I will let you know. We have just under we've gone just over 6 hours, so we have like 5 hours and 15 minutes left. Hopefully I can finish this in that time. It doesn't seem to be that long, maybe just under 367 pages. I can read a Frida McFadden book in usually about 8 hours, so I'm going to see how this goes. If not, I'm just going to switch back to my audiobook and just listen to that for a while. But I really do just want to get some of these physical books done because these are all standalones that I haven't got another video for, so I thought that would be great to do it in this video, but I really wasn't enjoying my time anymore with this. Alex Michaelides, he has a little blurb on here, so does Lisa Jewell, so hopefully this is exciting. So I'll let you guys know when I get about 50 pages in and kind of know more about what the book is about. But yeah, couldn't do that anymore, and we're so far in I could have finished a book already. same spot, but I've actually moved around quite a bit. I sat outside, but it's really hot. It's like 30 degrees Celsius today, so it's super hot outside, so I tried not to go there. I am currently 60 pages into this little book. It's already more interesting than the book before. I've made so much more progress in the last hour or hour and a half than I did in that book in 6 hours. So that's already a test to what my taste is and what I enjoy reading, I guess. I'm so confused. I literally have no freaking clue what is going on in this book yet. So it is a thriller. I think it's a domestic thriller. Is her name Harriet? No, her name is Sadie. The author's name's Harriet. So Sadie has moved back to the United Kingdom, to London, after moving away for about 10 years. She moved to Brooklyn in the States with her husband, but something went wrong. I'm not entirely sure what went wrong. They had a big falling out and he did something really shady, so she ended up upping and moving her daughter and herself without him. And I'm assuming he's an ex now. But her mother also passed away. Her mother was not a good mother at all. She was abusive, controlling. She didn't even want her daughter, Sadie, to call her mom or mother or anything like that. She had to call her by her first name, and her name is Lydia. And they just had a very tumultuous relationship. So after her mother passes away, her mom basically disowned her because she had a kid and gave up her career as a solicitor. And in order for her to now get any sort of inheritance, because obviously now she's on her own without a husband, she needs to put her daughter in this all-girls school in London, and it's the same school she went to. But she hated school. Her and her best friend went together. They absolutely hated school. But as long as her daughter Robin goes to the school, they'll get access to the housework that her mother left behind, as well as funds to tie them over. So there's a lot of secrets, and she's mentioned that there are secrets, but she's alluded to what these secrets are. We don't know what is going on. We're just kind of following the motions and kind of learning as we go along. But it's pretty fast paced. I'm not going to lie. The chapters are nice and short. There is like chapter 1 through whatever, and then there's other chapters that are sprinkled in between that have a day and a time on it, and then it's speaking as if a mother is talking to her child, or like in a dream state or something like that. But something is funny there, and like it makes me feel like it's someone else watching her, but I'm not entirely sure how that ties in. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's a weird one, but I guess I need to just keep reading to find out what happens. It feels like one of those old school thrillers where they just leave breadcrumbs, not like Frida McFadden where a lot just keeps happening in the beginning. This is just like small breadcrumbs that you like picking up and going along. When was this book even published? 2020, and then republished in 2021. I don't know. I'm liking it enough that it's keeping me engaged, but it's not. I don't know. Tomorrow I think I need to pick better books because this is not going well. I've DNF'd one book. I'm in the middle of an audiobook and then in the middle of this book, and I only have 4 hours left. In 4 hours, I could probably read maybe 200 pages. I don't know. I might just finish this tonight and then we'll start fresh tomorrow, but I'll let you guys know. But I just thought I'd do a quick check-in because firstly, household comes home at around 5, so I probably won't check in verbally then, but I will show you some B-roll and then we'll just recap tomorrow morning. I need to do some chores quickly, so I am going to listen to a bit of the audiobook. The audiobook has enticed me a lot more. I didn't even think I like dark romance that much anymore, but I'm curious. It's very interesting. I started this morning off at 7 o'clock again, and I've now made it to 207, well, page 270, chapter 42 in The Lies You Told. I don't know what the hell is going on in this book, honestly. It's very confusing, so I think I'm just going to keep all my thoughts till the end of this video while I just try and surmise what the hell is going on. Then I made it about 60% through Lights Out. This is deranged, this is crazy, but I'm having a good time. So we haven't finished any books yet, and I really regret starting with The Cloisters because that put me off my game quite a bit. And I think after The Lies You Told, I'm gonna go for Metal Slinger. It sounds very interesting and I'm in the mood for a fantasy. I always get on much better with a fantasy. So yeah, that's where we're at. We have 9 hours and 30 minutes left, so hopefully we can at least finish one book. This is really not going well. My 24-hour readathons are always so chaotic. I need to literally like figure out which book would work for me best during this time, because yeah, this is very chaotic. But I'm gonna keep reading and I'll let you guys know when I finish The Lies You Told and move on to Metal Slinger. Finally finished The Lies You Told, and honestly, I don't know. The storyline was whack. It definitely didn't correlate with the synopsis on the back, so I'm very confused, but like I said, I'll discuss it later. And I've just started Metal Slinger. I sent in at the moment, so yeah, it's going okay. So far I'm liking it, a bit confused, but I'm liking it. I have 7.5 hours left, so I will update you guys when I feel like there's an update to be given. Hi guys, sorry for the lighting once again. So we are, let me get my phone, halfway. 6 hours and 5 minutes left, and I am about, I want to say almost 20% through Metal Slinger, but I have a couple things to do now, so I'm going to switch back to my audiobook and then we'll get back to that. I don't think I'm going to finish it, but if I get close to it, I will just finish it tonight and then report back tomorrow. But I thought I'd just do a midway check-in. I'm reading a little bit faster because it is my Kindle, and I do read faster on my Kindle, but still my pace has slowed down so much. I think I'm going through a little bit of a reading burnout, and I did just finish Fourth Ring, which I love. So I think I might have a little bit of a book hangover. Not that I'm making excuses. We finished one book at least in this video. So it's actually a few days later now. I was firstly so tired after doing that, and secondly, it was on the weekend. Like, I never really film on the weekend, so I didn't close off this video. Today's Monday. I'm starting a new video and closing off this video. So for our 24-hour readathon, we started off with Cloisters, which was a huge mistake on my part. Honestly, it was so slow. I have since read a little bit more and I'm getting more into the story, but there's a lot of parts that the author just glosses over that are, for me, important, like character development and character aspect. But when it comes to academia, she seems to go into so much detail where I find that irrelevant. Like, we're not getting to know the characters, we're getting to know the academic setting. For me, I just thought it was a waste of time, and I ended up DNFing it at 122 pages. So that threw us for a loop. So due to that, I did add on a couple extra hours just to make up for the reading time we wasted on this. I also started with such an academic book with first thing in the morning, morning, and I think my brain was not computing. So that was a mistake. We also were listening to this audio, which I since finished. I finished it the next day with the couple of hours I added on, and that was Lights Out by Nevessa Allen. Again, I didn't realize this book was a dark romance. I honestly thought it was like a thriller, but it's not. So it's about our main female character. Her name's Alyssa, but Ali for short, and she's a trauma nurse. Her guilty pleasure is sitting on this social media app. It sounds like TikTok, but I'm not entirely sure it is. She watches thirst traps that are masked men, like tatted up, buff, and doing dances and suggestive stuff, and that's like her guilty pleasure. And one night, she had a bad day at work, she's having some wine, and she ends up DMing him, describing what she'd love for him to do to her, not knowing that it's about to come true. So it was very like mind-boggling because I didn't expect it. The smut is similar to Haunting Adeline, but not as dark, I don't think. But yeah, it just gave Haunting Adeline vibes, but I preferred Haunting Adeline with the storyline. This just felt a little bit frivolous. It was very humorous and it didn't take itself too seriously, which made it a fun book to listen to. I went for a walk on the beach when I finished it. I went for like an hour or something, and I listened to the rest of the book, and I was so entertained. I was giggling to myself, and yeah, it was entertaining, but I ended up giving that a 3-star. It wasn't the best, it wasn't the worst either. Like I said, it was entertaining and it kept me going. I wanted to listen to it every time I wasn't actually physically reading. After that, I decided to pick up The Lies You Told. This was actually sold to me as a thriller, and yeah, The Lies You Told have deadly consequences. It's supposed to be chilling, addictive, breathless, explosive. According to all these people, it was no such thing. And like I said, it was sold a thriller, but it was more of like a general fiction, suburban life type of book. It was just our main female character, Sadie. So she moved abroad to the USA because her husband got a job, but she ended up having to leave her job because she fell pregnant, and she was a lawyer, I want to say, or a barrister, something like that. And she left her job for this, and her mom disowned her because she had a child. She said to her, you know, you have to pick between having a baby or having a career, and if you choose the baby side, I'm disowning you. So she actually disowns her. But after about 10 years, her and her husband go through some trials and tribulations, and she ends up moving back to the UK with her mom since passed away, and with the will, she has to live in the house as well, her old house or her mom's house, and her daughter needs to go to the school where she went when she was younger, but she hated that school, absolutely hated life being there. So she ends up sending her daughter there, and because she's an old girl, they think old girl means like, yeah, she she went there as a child as well, and so it's like a legacy, and she thought she'd get a better reception, a better welcome. But the moms are nasty. They are so competitive with like their kids, and they push their kids to points where no 12-year-old should be pushed to. Her daughter's very intelligent and doesn't need to study a lot with tests and stuff. She just gets really good grades, and this mom group takes her in, but then the competitiveness just turns nasty. And then there's like a plot twist like the last like 80 pages, which I didn't see coming, firstly because it didn't seem relevant. It was alluded to the whole time in the book, like we never even picked up on it. Like there was just no clues, no nothing, no sprinklings. There was nothing implied in the book that this plot twist was happening, so it felt out of place. So I ended up giving this a 2.5 stars. It was alright, but definitely not a thriller for me. I don't like suburban books like that. It's boring. Like I want to escape. This just wasn't it. And as much as it was like a quick read, it's still no, not for me. And lastly, unfortunately, another disappointing book. I'm going to pop the color picture up here, but yeah, so Metal Slinger. I ended up picking up this book last, and I still had about 25% to read, so I finished it like I think within the same day. Unfortunately, this is not how it was sold to me. Like I watch so much YouTubers and booktubers, and they sell you something. I don't know if it's because they get arcs or because they get sponsored. I don't know, but this book was not what it was sold to be to me. It was very slow, very, very, very slow. I think for the first like half of the book, we just see the two main characters. Anyway, so we have Kai, Mesa, and Bryn, and they come from a little area, or I don't know how to like describe it, but this world is obviously broken up, and the mainland is called Kenta, and then they live in Alaha. And Alaha people have been exiled. Like many years ago, they're exiled to sea, so they basically live on a rock in the middle of the sea. And every year they get granted part of the treaty in their exile, one market day a year, I think it is. Every year that market day, the graduates that are graduating either from soldier school, I think, or like normal school, they get to go to this market day, and they all given like a little bit of money, and they get to enjoy the market, and that's like the only time they'll ever touch land. Bryn, Kai, and Mesa decide to go, or they're part of the graduates, so they go on this trip. Things just go awry. Their number one rule for market day is don't ever get separated from your friends. Always go in 2s, 3s, 4s, and never by yourself. Bryn ends up having a fight with Kai, and she ends up going off by herself. Something happens. She gets singled out by a royal guard, and he's like wanting to chop off her hand and stuff, and it just like sets in motion a chain of events. And that sounds like it could be interesting, but that's like the first chapter that all happens in, and then it's just them going on this like adventure, I think, but it's brutal, and it's just the two of them on a boat for like the majority of the book. Then the latter part of the book, they're making their way through like a forest, and that's it. Like they don't really, I don't know, I just found it boring and so tedious. And then the plot twist at the end and what happens about like the revolution and all of that, it wasn't mentioned once in the entire book that this was where it was leading. There was no hints, and I think that would have made it better if I had thought like, okay, this could be happening. That it wasn't, because it was just the two of them like falling in love and stuff, and like I don't know, it for me it didn't make sense. It really didn't make sense, and it felt super juvenile. I just really didn't enjoy it. Okay, I did enjoy it. I'm putting it the wrong way. I was frustrated because I felt like there were key details that were missing to enjoy the book. But I gave this a 3-star. That is all the books that I read in my 24-hour readathon. Like not the best. Definitely not my best. I think I just chose the wrong book. And that can happen. That can happen. But I really didn't read as much as I want to. I'm going to pop on the screen all my stats, how many pages I read, and all of that. Please remember to subscribe if you haven't already, and give this video a thumbs up if you like it. Let me know if you want to see me do another one of these, maybe a full 24 hours. I'll struggle, but I definitely can try. But with that being said, like I said, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you all in my next one. Bye guys.